Okay, so we are live. Gotta figure out what we're doing. So this live is starting. We are about less than 20 hours away from our first due date. Yeah, college kids who are like always working till 11:59 because of the professor. Oh my goodness gracious. So it is 9:38 p.m. on Monday. We are less than a week, way less than a week out from when we need this thing to be finished. This TQRS water recipe that is new and due on Saturday. So to catch you up, we have determined already that it is going to be a Japanese water recipe. I think we've just leaned into that. And yesterday we attempted to run around and find some more Japanese waters. No dice. Today I attempted to call around to find some more Japanese waters. No dice. So thank you to Nijiya LA for letting me bother you guys and talk about water. They were very nice to me. So they were really excited about the questions I was asking. So that was kind of cool. And then no dice on the Shinsha today. So just some logistical issues, but that's just part of the development process, and that's what you're here for, right? It's not gonna be perfect. But while waiting for our Shinsha and looking outside every single time we see a truck, Nepal Tea Collective's delivery came in today. We were so happy for it. We're like, damn, Nepal, standing up Japan today. That's okay. We have determined a couple promising prototypes, so we'll test those today together, okay? Roy G, nice to see you. Shiloh, what are you doing up so late? Jeremy, what are you doing up so late? Andrew, it's a good morning for you. Joelle, Tasha, nice to see you. Welcome. Let us know how you guys are doing. We are good. I have been staring at the screen for about 6 hours. I probably had 100 tabs on my laptop today over the course of the day, looking for water. But if we want to get more Japanese water, it's going to be $50 to ship a 1 liter of water from Mount Fuji to here. Then I also have the option of buying 24 1-liter bottles of Minami Alps water for $230 shipped to the United States. So probably not. We won't do that. We will just try to recreate those waters here in Vegas, which is what we've done today. So off screen while we were waiting for our Shinsha, we tried to recreate the what we now know is not Minami Alps water, but is actually Northern Alps water. Minami Alps meaning Southern Alps. This is actually Northern Alps. I wrote that up on the blog post. That's our kind of documentation of all this going on. So also a famous water, but not as famous as Minami Alps. I am a little bummed we didn't get our hands on Minami Alps, but this is Hida Tenensui. Still a good water. We still love it.
Is it sweet?
Sui. I'm sorry. God, I gotta switch between Chinese, Japanese, and Tagalog all the time. So Hida Tenensui. So we recreated it today to attempt to see, can we truly copy a natural pre-existing water with a recreated water recipe? And honestly, the answer is it's not quite there. I think part of the issue is that we don't have the exact mineral breakdown of this water. I'm not sure how much bicarbonate is in it. I'm not sure how much silica is in it. I'm not sure. When we recreate a water, for example, we can't copy the exact to the gram amount of all of the minerals. We have to kind of make some choices for prioritization, which again I'll write up in the blog post unless you want me to talk about it right now. I'm happy to. This is just our time to kind of live stream and kind of put our notes down, put our ideas out. So in short, we try to copy this water. Our initial attempts are close but not exact. So we're finding that our attempts to recreate these waters are a little bit on the bright side, a little bit more dry than we want it to be. This water's just so silky smooth. So, but our second attempts are actually moving that direction. Actually, no, yeah. So if we're trying to recreate it, we can't quite, but now we're overshooting, and we found through that process our first really exciting prototype for the actual water. So there's two problems, right? One, can we recreate these waters, right? I'm working on it. We have a couple other chemistry magic things we can try. And then number two, what about that friggin' recipe? Because the recipe is not just gonna be copying this water. So let's try it out, Steven. Let's bring out that prototype that we want to test out. Keeping in mind that I promised Leo at TNWISC, we would bring at least a couple of them tomorrow for the group to test. So up until this point, we've been testing Japanese waters. We've been testing with just me and Steven. Between now and tomorrow, we need to shift gears to, we're going to test with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people tomorrow. 6 new pallets to test to see if this water works. And we're not going to use this water with them tomorrow. I probably will throw it in as like a decoy and just a test, you know? But we will have to bring our recipe, our created water tomorrow. Yeah, makes sense? So yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. I didn't catch you guys. I was kept going on and on and on. Andrew's having some dialing this morning. I'm glad you're doing great. We've had some shincha. We've been having lots of shincha. Thank you, Dense Tea, for this amazing shincha, which we bought. I'm acting like they gave it to us, but I'm happy to pay for this shincha. It's an amazing shincha, so comfortable. From all of the crazy kind of like experiments we're doing, we have not felt uncomfortable, so it's been great. And Brahmi Boy is saying we sell that water at Nijiya. Yeah, this is where we got the water. It's actually from Nijiya. So I called into Nijiya again to see if you had more of them. Do you guys have more? I was asking like, hey, get us Suntory Minami Alps and stuff like that. We also got some onsen water from them, and then we got a Kirishima water. It's been really fun. So thank you to Nijiya. Just a lot of people were relying on to make this happen. Okay, so that's the catch up. We've been working nonstop. It's been crazy. The agenda for now is we have a prototype, a couple of them.
Need some work.
It needs some work, but this is the first time I'm like, hey, this is actually like, I was very happy with what we tasted. So what is this prototype? To explain the concept of Tikiris water, right? The droppers that we have. Oof, sorry if that was really loud. I hit a bowl. The concept of these droppers is to create a water we can make at home that is inspired by natural waters and taste as much as well as a natural water would, because we're using the same minerals, right? However, we don't want to necessarily just copy one water, because yes, we love this Hida water a lot. It's one of my new best friends. I love this water. I'm so glad we're able to like work with it, develop a relationship with this amazing natural water. But there are also things I want to edit about it, you know? Like, I just don't want to copy it. That's boring, you know? It's just boring. And also not as feasible, because I think that there is like a certain X factor to natural waters that you will not pin down completely. Maybe you can get 85-90% there. But so instead of trying to copy it completely, we should probably riff off and be inspired by it to create then a new kind of formula ratio. How we got to this point is we were recreating the waters in the, you know, in the situation that we haven't been able to find more Japanese waters. We were thinking maybe we can just recreate the ones we have using our water calculator. And then, yeah, we tried. It didn't work the first time for this particular water because we're missing a couple data points. But we are finding that one of our attempts is really smooth and sweet and rich, and like it made us double take. We were really tired. We're like, hey, we got somewhere with this, okay? So this is the same amount of calcium, magnesium.
That's it.
That's it, as the Hida Tenensui. And then we changed the amount of sodium. So we were experiencing that the initial attempts were a little bit too kind of like dry and a little thin, lacking some smoothness. And in my experience, when you add a little bit of sodium to your recipe, it can kind of like mellow it out, round things out. Excuse me. Let me. Who's thinking about me? Oof. I was about to sneeze. So sodium helps round things out. Like kind of helps with the profile a little bit. So now we have a significantly higher amount of sodium, but not an inordinate amount. It's still a normal amount of sodium for the water. And it's really good, really smooth, soft, sweet. And Steven was saying we almost want to try this with a gyokuro. I wish we had one, because it's so soft and smooth and sweet. if we're probably gonna do this tomorrow for as one of the
Yeah.
the prototypes, but now comparing it to the pita, I think it's needing a little bit more kind of, we kind of went a little bit too much into the smooth category, and now it needs just a little bit more of complexity back. So somewhere in the middle, we're gonna try to attempt to do that. Okay. So what are your thoughts? So we are at. I'm gonna talk out loud here. Um, then Andrew's saying, I never found an onsen water that I liked. Too much TDS. Yeah. The onsen water we have is actually quite light, but we still didn't like it. Yeah, it's just dry. So I agree with you. T Sleuth, nice to see you. Picky Buds, welcome, welcome. We're just gonna talk and like riff just to show what this process is. I'm happy with this. I think we need to then try to dial back some of the minerality because it's a good minerality, but it's muting some of the flavor now. So right now we're at 100 TDS to achieve this. I think if we maybe half the mineral content from 100 TDS to 50, we can maintain some of the nice textural kind of things going on with this water. Maybe. Because TDS adjustments...
We won't know until we try.
TDS adjustments do have a huge... Like, if you just half something, the texture just does change a lot. But I do want to bring some of that poppiness back. And then we can kind of fix some ratios, maybe. Add in some more potassium, dial back the sodium. So we'll just do that and just taste together. Okay?
What tea do you want to have?
Shinja.
And against what? Itself? Or...
Itself. And
Okay.
the original, Takira's original. So something else we need to do too is, you guys who have original and autumn, I need to make sure that this water tastes different from what you have. Because I'll be straight up, like, I really could just make autumn, but soft, and then be like, hi, it's a new water, 'cause it's so different. But I want it to be different. So we will try to test it against our pre-existing formulas. What do you want to start with, Stephen? This water against Takira's
How much
original.
How many mLs of water?
Same bowls, 250, because these are just recreated waters, right?
2.5 grams.
2.5 grams, 250, right?
How much is left of that?
Or we can do 100 ml so that we save some of the shinsha. We're almost like halfway through this bag already. That's how much shinsha we've drunk in the last couple days. It's insane. So we're very, very caffeinated. So any questions that you guys have, let me know. We're like going really late for this recording too. So if you're watching this ahead of time or after the time, feel free to DM us also. I've been really enjoying kind of like the afterthoughts, even if you're not watching this live. So YouTube folks, I see you. And live folks, I see you too. All right,
Wanna do
so
some dishes real quick?
we'll do 1 gram of the shincha. 1 gram to 100 ml of water, right? Besides that, we've invited our friends to come tomorrow to do a blind tasting of what we've developed so far. And I haven't really explained to them as much what we've done. So you guys know a lot more than they do. I'm kind of doing that on purpose so that when they come in and taste the tea, it's going to be, a fresh look. And then at the same time, we'll be able to taste. I think Leo has some like fresh matcha in stock at Tea and Whisk, so we'll be able to test this formula with matcha as well. Which one of the things I wanted to kind of like riff off of and go in a different direction from original is original, our original recipe, which is this recipe here. The other one is autumn, right? Original is not very good with matcha. Matcha is just so harsh and astringent and intense because it is the ground up, tea leaves. So original being so high extracting and a very efficient water almost is extracting too much from the matcha. Like it brings out too much of the matcha flavor. So that pure kind of like Camellia sinensis bittersweet polyphenol punch is just so intense with original. So I think that this new water will kind of cover for that. Not to say it's bad. I still think original is good with matcha compared to a lot of different waters, but it's just me being finicky about it to see if I can improve on it. And then Autumn at this concentration, I think, is still too mellow. So we'll see if we can figure out like a nice middle ground.
Talk down both.
Yeah, I will. Okay. How many prototypes should we bring tomorrow for Leo's thing, Steven? I'm thinking at least the Tenensui, right? Hopefully none of them watch this replay later on. None of them are here right now. So and then maybe the Kirishima water, we can just kind of treat them to a Japanese water, Steven.
Sure.
Or maybe the snow water also. I think maybe the snow water might be good for them to try. We tried that snow water 2 days ago. Pretty good. I liked it a lot. So, honestly, a tiny part of me is still thinking about it. But I honestly think that original at a lower dose can kind of do the snow water thing. Honestly. Because snow water is almost no minerals, and it's very, 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 like, clean, pure, clear, bright, which is Tahir's original. Clean, pure, clear, bright. Okay. You gonna be ready with water for in a little bit,
Pretty
Steven? Yeah, okay. So we'll do 1 gram. I'm running out of Shincha, so instead of our usual 2.5 grams per 250 ml of
late.
water, it's also late. We will do 1 gram of Shincha instead. And so we'll do 3 different waters. We will do Tahir's original, right, Steven?
Mhm.
Compared to Tahir's original. At normal dose, or Tahir's original being our control, right? Do you want to test Autumn or something else?
Probably just original.
Okay.
So we know how much progress it is.
I guess so. Yeah. And then 1 more prototype. So 2 prototypes and then original. Steven?
The prototype, the current one. The half-strength prototype, and then Tahir's original.
The current prototype, half-strength prototype, and Tahir's original.
Yes.
Okay, got it. So yeah, sounds good. Let me know if you have any questions about what's going on. This is kind of like a more like open-ended kind of like I'm really showing what the process is behind the scenes for this like live stream. So I hope that you feel free to like ask us about anything that I'm kind of glossing over, because this is definitely crunch time. That's why I'm like really like working on the different options. And then the goal being, I should ask this for the Instagram like just stories so I can get like a wide range of answers, is that question of what do people want in a shincha or sencha? And it's trending towards like mellow umami with some elegance, right? Yeah, which Steven's gesturing to our prototype. Our prototype is quite good.
It's more of those things than it is what I might look for myself, which is like bright.
Yeah. I want somewhere in the middle though. I think our current first prototype is just a little bit too smooth. But who knows? What if tomorrow the folks like it? That's why I'm keeping it. That's already like one instance, right, Steven?
Yeah.
We will show them that prototype. And then another thing we can do besides just adjusting the amount of minerals is also which ratios. So right now we're at 16 calcium and 4 magnesium. Right, Steven? The original Hida. The hardness ratios for this water. We can also do something like reduce the calcium and up the magnesium. Magnesium being, in my opinion, a more kind of like mild, mellow source of hardness. Calcium is very intense. Calcium is just the most active mineral in any mineral formula. Like if someone's like, hey, look over my water, look over my mineral recipe, I'm going to look at the calcium first because it's just so like reactive.
Ready for some
Yeah.
waters?
Ready. And then for our food grade salts, calcium is usually tied with calcium chloride, and calcium chloride, the chloride in the calcium is quite cooling. And then magnesium sulfate, it's usually magnesium and sulfate. Sulfate's more warming. So small adjustments, tiny adjustments we can make to kind of like work with the flavors and stuff like that. And then the sodium adjustment too. All right. So this is our prototype, number 1.
That is half-strength prototype.
Half strength prototype. We will test the full strength prototype though, right?
Yep, already
Okay.
done.
Got it. It's a pretty color. So this is about 50 TDS, right?
In theory, I didn't measure it.
But the math, you would like
Yeah.
weight out the water and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So this is our first prototype. Oh, well, second possible prototype now. We should give this a name. So that we're not calling it prototype A, prototype B. Think of a name, Steven. Fluffy. We can call it Fluffy. It's quite fluffy. It's quite smooth and mellow and reminds me of like a golden doodle. So we'll call it Fluffy. So this is Fluffy 0.5 times. Then we'll do Fluffy, right? And then we'll do Tahira's original. Fluffy is not the recipe name, by the way. That's still out. No one has thus far been able to guess what the new recipe is going to be. So thus far, still open. Send your guesses to us. No one's guessed the new name for the recipe. Let's see. Wednesday, nice to see you. Garrett, how's it going? The boat. And more reasonable, nice to see you. Joni, good evening. How's it going? We are now testing those prototypes. We are how many hours away from showtime? Like 18 hours away from having to be at Tea and Whisk. And like, we're gonna go live with Leo. I'm nervous because Leo's very like brutal. He doesn't hold any punches, man. He like is gonna tell you if he likes it or not. And then Andrew's saying, I liked softer, pure waters with Japanese greens and sweeter, more mineral waters with Taiwanese oolong. Yeah, I'm like pretty much on board with that. If actually I like both waters for both teas. I think I actually like slightly sweeter water. Well, it depends. I think it depends. But I agree with you that those are good matches. It does depend. Okay, so this is Fluffy. Fluffy at 1 point times. So this is around 100 TDS. So I think, Angie, what I was referring to is now I think once we develop this new recipe, we will have 2 soft and pure waters. Original and this new recipe. But different ratios of what is in those soft waters. So right now, Tahira's original is at around like 50 to 70. This new recipe, I want to be a little softer, but they are considered soft waters. Whereas our autumn recipe is more of that sweet, more mineral, which I also like with Taiwanese oolong. So, but I think just in general, in the tea world, soft water, meaning like low hardness and low minerals in general, like a light water, in theory is the preferred for a lot of like tea scholarship. Like Japan's old school like tea masters preferred soft water. China's old school tea masters prefer soft water. The tea institutes today tend to prefer soft water in China and Japan. It's just what's preferred. And I think that there's a confirmation bias. Not confirmation bias, but there's like a familiarity bias there. In that if you are growing up in Japan, drinking tea in Japan, you will be brewing the tea with soft water, right? So you're going to be accustomed to that taste. The farmers will be using that as a measurement for their own tea making like needs, for example. And then it just so happens, Andrew's saying that he likes sweeter, more mineral water with Taiwanese oolong. Taiwan actually has quite heavier water compared to, say, Japan. I was surprised to see that. It's not heavy necessarily, but like Japan is almost all the way soft. Taiwan has like a mix of like soft and hard waters. And of course, different kind of tea. So it just be like that, I guess. It's interesting to see that interplay. And so because of that, there's just so much preference for soft waters. And within that category, I think there's a lot of room to play around. Not just soft water, but what kind of soft water, right? Yes, it's pure tasting, but what kind of pure tasting? What are we highlighting? Is it like a bright pureness or like a umami pureness? Sweet pureness? So the idea is just have a couple options so that even with the same tea, knowing you like light water, you can even play around in that category some more. Is it very specific? Yes. Do I like it? Yes, absolutely. We saw this the other day when we brewed Poland Spring with Voss, against Voss. And Poland Spring and Voss are both really, really light waters, right? They measured in at like around 20 TDS both, but they were very different. Like the flavors were so different. So the ratios are important too. All right, so let us taste these teas. So we have a Fluffy 0.5, Fluffy 1.0, and then Tea Curious Original regular dose. Okay. So again, this is the dense shincha. This is a Yabukita shincha from Tawarazawa in Shizuoka. Very straightforward tea. We've loved this tea so far. It's fantastic. Although I am waiting for new shincha for sure. All right. So Fluffy 0.5. That's good. Yes, it's good. Oh, I'm so excited. That's what you need. You need some of that. Like we're thinking and thinking and thinking. But honestly, at the end of the day, tea results are about emotion, I think. So when it can make you pep up, that's a win. Yes. Yes. That's good. I'm so excited. Okay. Good. All right. So this is that same water formula, but times 2. Okay. Actually, we started with this one, then we halved it to make the other one. How's this one? It's delicious.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm so excited. Okay. Let's see. That's good too, but it's extremely different. I like them both. I like them both. Yeah. Michael, nice to see you. Eric Eswakito, nice to see you. Yeah, live tea at 10 p.m. We were waiting for DHL to come. They never came with our tea. So in the meantime, we end up, working what we needed to for this water recipe. These are very different, but they're both really good. So this tells me that ratios are really important. Ratios are really important. Same mineral ratios, different levels. So same minerals, but this is half the amount and this is 100% of the amount, but same ratios. But they're both good. So that means that the ratio, not just a TDS, is important. This is 100 TDS, 50 TDS, but they're both delicious. Works really well. I'm super pumped. Yeah, Andrew was saying, like, when comparing waters, I always knew immediately if it was good. You can see it whenever we do these lives. When I'm not happy with the tea, a little part of me wants to pretend that I'm happy. It's just not going to work because it has to come from somewhere, right? Which is why this is kind of scary to do live, but it's good. Really, really delicious. Now, this is our baby, Tea Curious Original, our firstborn. Any
Which
parents?
we already know doesn't excel as Japanese.
Any
babies.
parents in the room? Do you love your firstborn? Then when another cuter baby comes, do your feelings change?
A fluffy baby.
I'm just kidding. We already know that Tea Curious Original has not been ideal for Japanese tea in the side by side. I still think it's fantastic. You can come fight me. Original is amazing, but compared to some, we're really, really twisting the dial here to see how well it can perform. It has not performed as well against the Japanese waters, these other options. So let's see how it tastes. It's still good. It's still good, okay? It's so sad because this is so good. I'll make this water fight a lot of other waters. But compared to the fluffy prototypes, it's just comparatively not as good. Yeah. Let's try it out again. It's still good. So, you were mentioning, Andrew, the whole concept of soft pure water. These are all pretty soft waters, but that's a completely different kind of different profile.
That's so different.
I would say some people would prefer this. So this is why I'm excited to have options, because I would say some people will not prefer the fluffy prototype and will prefer the Tea Curious Original. Which one would you prefer? If you prefer a little bit more umami, smoothness, texture, you don't want any bittersweetness in your tea, you don't want an edge in your Japanese green tea, I think the fluffy prototypes are kind of more in that direction, which I think from what we've seen from our current customer base has been what's been missing, which is why we're trying to go in this direction. However, Tea Curious Original, I still think excels at pulling out that pure kind of grassy Camellia sinensis flavor. It tastes like tea. tea leaves, you know? Like lots of like floral and like bright and vegetal and delicious and very springtimey. Less on the texture, less on the like clear, likable umami. So I'm not gonna lie, I still really like Tahira's original here, but it is more harsh, more bittersweet. Um, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. Oh, okay, it's crazy. Progress is good. So let's try the prototypes again. Thoughts, Steven? Just to like confirm. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Whew! The aftertaste is so tasty too. Really good.
This is developing in
Cooling.
the same way that the Hito water develops when you let it sit for more time.
Yeah.
It does. It just continues to progress in the same way. It's not the same, but in the same way.
Yeah. I think 0.5 is better, in my opinion. Half the amount, which is good because I did want this water to be not 100 TDS. That's delicious. And then thinking about our formula now, once it gets into the droppers, if you would like to scale up and do like a 2 times on the formula, you could just do that and then you can get this result too. This is more silky, smooth, very round, almost no edges. I think I don't prefer this. It's good. I really, really like it. But I think it's kind of like smoothing out a little bit, just a tiny bit too much. This other one, if Steven will give it back to me, has more like, it maintains some of that very like vibrant, but not harsh thing that I want to see in a Shincha. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm pretty happy about that. Wrap it up. Let's just call it a day. Publish. No. So, now that we're here, we're happy with this. This is good. Honestly, if today was Saturday and this was the recipe. Actually, no, that's not true. We don't have the other Shinsha yet. That's my only problem, is we don't have the other Shinsha to try with us yet. It would be great if we had the other Shinsha. We have the Yakushima Shinsha that's coming in. We have that Marishi that I'm very excited to try. And then we have the Miyazaki Sencha we'll try with Leo. A couple Kagoshima ones we'll try with Leo. So the question now is, this tea is good with this Yabukita Shizuoka Shincha. That is a very good Shincha. How will it perform with other Shinchas? That's number one question. That's keeping us from wanting to publish right now. Number two, what else can we tweak without overthinking it? You know how like when you take a test and like you're like, here's the answer, and you go back, you're like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's actually D. It's not. Yeah, actually, then you erase, and then you circled D, and then it turns out your original answer was more correct. There's an aspect of that, I think, especially with very finicky development like this, where sometimes the first answer is the best answer, right? So I want to make sure we keep this tomorrow, both Fluffy and Fluffy 0.5 for tomorrow's test to see if people like it. But from here, we can now play with calcium versus magnesium. Two sources of hardness. Can we boost the magnesium, lower the calcium? And then we can play with like how much sodium do you want to put in versus potassium. So those are the main two, I would say, that we can play around with now. Nice. I'm happy. This is good. I'm glad we have some like progress. So yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. Dino, nice to see you. Good evening. Tej Bahadur Singh, nice to see you. Good evening. I'm just basking now. I'm pretty happy. Okay, so I think the next test, one more test we need to do, Steven, probably tonight, right now, is... What? It's delivered! Steven put up the DHL tracking on my screen. And then we both like shot up. DHL is delivered. It's like friggin' 10:13 and DHL just delivered. That's crazy. So Steven's running out to see if it's true. Dude, did the DHL guy just not? Ooh, we got it! Hey, that content. Thanks, DHL.
We're live.
It says that it arrived at 9:30, so we must have gone live and then like we didn't hear them. Why didn't they ring the doorbell? It's supposed to be signature confirmation, right? Did you change the confirmation options?
Is the stream frozen?
I don't know. Is it? Did we get shocked into stuff? I think we're good. Yeah. So, we got our tea. All right. So,
We're trying it right now.
are we trying it right now? We could try it right now? Sure, why not? What's the odds? Dude, can someone ask our DHL person? It's supposed to be signature confirmation.
Can you knock?
Can you knock? Yeah, don't just leave our Sinsha out in the wild. Neighbor's dog's gonna get it. Alright. This is gonna be the fastest that a Shinsha package has been opened. I doubt it. I'm sure someone's like chased their DHL person down the road to let her open their Shinsha. So, exactly what we wanted, right? Thanks, DHL. This is the latest DHL shipment I've ever gotten. This is ridiculous. It's still not gonna top the DHL or no FedEx, the FedEx shipment. When I went to India,
Oh,
I got my Indian visa the day before my flight.
you need help? You want me to open it?
Yeah, you can open it. I tend when I open gifts, I tend to open them like I'm unwrapping them. Like I will not tear into something. I'll just do it. Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Oh, thanks, DHL. What a coincidence. How funny. Yeah, Steven just tearing into it. I'm excited. Don't judge me. I didn't buy that much Sinsha. We honestly have too much tea still from like last year. We had went like way ham on Korean green tea last couple years. So I didn't buy like a gigantic box. But we have enough. Oh, how cute. Oh, thanks, Unomi. Unomi's so wonderful. Unomi's great, by the way. Unomi is amazing. I can't even put words to Unomi. Ian is like so helpful and super patient and is just a boss. So the OG. So thanks, Unomi. If you guys are looking for Shinsha, yeah, why you gotta just check it out. Oh, they have what do you call this again? Furoshiki. I've been like not in Japanese tea language mode lately. I like switched languages based on what I need at the moment. Like I got like a Spanish students a lot, Hispanic students, so like I've been doing a lot more Spanish, more Tagalog lately, following the Philippine elections. You know what I mean? So, all right, what is this? Ooh, it's like Christmas, but Shinsha. All right, so wonderful. So this is the Hachimanju Yakushima tea. Awesome. So this is the southernmost tea growing region in Japan. One of my favorite producers. Amazing. They are natural, like organic, low intervention. That's why I really, really, really like them. So I'm excited to try them. And then yes. So this very special Marishi. So Ian on his site doesn't have notes for every tea, but when he has a note for a tea, you pay attention. Just like just a tea buying thing. He said that this tastes like feathers. It's very fluffy. And we tried the Marishi cultivar for the first time during Global Japanese Tea Marathon last year. And I think Simona and I'm blanking out. Why am I'm just so like blown out. What's his face's name? Host Matsumoto-san. Okay. Matsumoto-san said, I think Matsumoto-san or Simona, I'm not sure who said it, but they said that the aftertaste of this tea was like the aftertaste of wagashi, like a Japanese sweet. And I agreed with them. It was beautiful. One of the most memorable teas of that Japanese tea marathon. So I was really excited to see this. So I picked it up. This is very expensive 진짜. Limited hand-picked first flush, Honyama Togen Marishi, from Kane's Tea Farm. So you can only get 20 grams of it. I couldn't even get more than that. And then we have some more Hachi Manju. So this is, I think, a slightly more affordable grade of this stuff. So I wanted, different grades of the same producer. This is a Yutaka Midori. I think that this one is Asatsuyu. Okay, there it is. Asatsuyu and Kuritawase, which I'm not familiar with the cultivar. Oh, it's so great! I'm just so happy. Thanks for waiting me to open my present. And then last one is this Ikegawa Ichiban-cha. So Ikegawa I also found out through the Global Japanese Tea Marathon. And they were so cute. They're like this cooperative of people up in like a beautiful mountainside tourist town. And they're like, oh my god, we love tea. And like life is so great here. So we're doing great tea stuff. Ikegawa Tea Farm. This is one of their blends, Kiri no Kaori. So a more like kind of everyday blend. This is, I think, their most inexpensive one. They have a range. Different producers will have like classic blends of tea every single year. So you'll find like they have beautiful names like Yume or Kaori or, like stuff like that. So this is their Kiri no Kaori. Okay, let's drink some tea.
Which one do you want?
Which one should we?
And what
which
water
one should
are
we
we
drink?
testing?
These waters.
Against the real deal or the prototype?
Oh yeah. Do we have enough of the real deal stuff? I'm interested in using the Kirishima water for the Yakushima tea. Actually, Southern Japan waters for Southern Japan teas.
This one?
Probably that one. Yeah.
Yakushima.
Is that okay? Yeah, the Yakushima one.
So this bottle, yeah.
Yes, if that's okay.
1 gram. Are you gonna set it up? You want help?
I want to drink these first. These are delicious. So any questions, let me know. We'll do the Yakushima Hachimanju. Their Hisoka is the name of it. It's a single cultivar, which is good. I want a single cultivar one. Yutaka Midori. So we'll drink it. Hey, I didn't know Yakushima's in Kagoshima. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just so far south. I didn't even put two and two together. It's still Kagoshima. Like how Hawaii is still like the United States. It's like, okay, yes, but makes sense. All right, cool. Questions? Let me know. Xiaoyu, nice to see you, and YCWJ, hello. All right. And this is, what do you call these again? Are these called furoshiki? I forgot. Like these beautiful, like tied, like bags. So thoughtful. I just love this. I like the color of it too. It's very like summer. Furoshiki, right? Yeah, I think this is what you call them. Steven's pulling up on Google. All right. Gorgeous. Man. Should we do this for Tikira's water like packaging too? It's nice, really nice. Okay, so let's drink these teas and then we will brew. Our last thing we'll do today is to brew this. I can't believe we have it. Started this stream without it and now we have our shincha. Yeah, we'll do this. So we'll do fluffy 0.5x and then we'll do the Kirishima water. So instead of doing the Hida water, which is the gold standard so far, I want to see, because we already know that water is good. We already know. I want to see if there is a tea that the Kirishima water matches with. Okay, I'm gonna chug these. Is that a great idea? We're gonna be up late. Okay, you help me toss it up. That's good. Delicious. See, that's better, I would say. Okay.
Which one is that? That's normal.
Normal. Fluffy. But it's good. It's good
Oh,
still.
after all this time.
Yeah. And then Tahira's original. I bet this could be very harsh now. Yeah, it's bittersweet. Bitter. Tahira's original is not it's not a easy water to work with. it's easy, but like I on purpose wanted to make it for people who feel confident brewing with their tea because it is a very kind of like you need good tea with it. You need to like not be afraid of like approaching your tea. It's a kind of like very rewarding water if you know what you're doing with it. So I think this new recipe will be a little bit more friendly. Um, so cute. All right. Cool, cool. Ready, Steven? I'm gonna weigh these up now. So this is our last test tonight. I think Steven and I will keep doing tests tomorrow before we have to see Leo. I have work in the morning still. I still have that on and off day job I have, which is to teach at the local school district. Today is like tomorrow's second to the last day I have to be there. So we already do like tea so full time already. It's just like been extra like packed with everything going on. And with us trying to save for the Taiwan trip, move. It's been really busy. But I'm happy. Things are good. Yeah. So I hope you two friends are doing well enough. Yeah, all things considered, pretty okay. Even if like my country's like political situation's not great, and yeah, casual Filipino sadness. Yeah, that's par for the course though. Okay, so let's weigh these out. I think that just to like spare us, I want to do 1 gram in 100 liters of water, right?
100, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not up so late. Because
That's a fancy pack. You can do it.
Huh?
The one where it doesn't let you mess up.
oh yeah, no way, really? Oh, very nice. Yeah. Ugh, I love Unomi's new like signature line packaging. It's so gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. I don't know how long they've had this, but I've seen this just recently from them. It's just really beautiful. Okie dokie. So, ooh, Steven, smell? Wow! Yes, it's so delicious smelling. Amazing.
Yeah, nice.
So nice. That's very lush, very sweet. Honestly, it has like a sugary smell to it. You get that too, Steven? Like, like powdered sugar. So sweet. Oh, amazing. Oh man, I wish that we could brew you before we actually put you on the test, but I will brew you tomorrow. Well, probably before I go in the morning.
Sure.
We'll like make sure that we're like I feel bad about like subjecting tea to like experiments sometimes because I feel like it's not respectful if you're not doing it correctly. So I'm just putting the intention out that like, hey, okay, I am gonna like brew you in like a weird kind of like experimental way today, but I also want to like understand you as a tea. We'll do that tomorrow. It's that left brain, right brain thing, you know? Like this week is full of a lot of like left brain stuff. Curious water as a concept feels very left brain, but like we always have to balance it out with like the right brain stuff. Like not just logic, but feeling, not just feeling, but logic. Go back and forth and then make sure you're having a good time, which I'm having a great time. So yeah. If that makes sense. Okay. A little bit less. A little bit less than that. Okay, good. All right. Wow. So good. Smells so good. How's your Shincha season, you guys? New teas, not just from Japan. Shincha being, you know, formerly like Japanese new tea, but also from like other regions. We just got into Nepal. New harvest tea. Some India, like Darjeelings, which we got because we were at that stage towards the beginning of this development process that we were thinking of like making this recipe work for like just fresh spring harvest teas in general. I still think we do, but now it's a little bit more incidental. Like it should be good primarily for Japanese green tea first, and then if it's good with Darjeeling, that'll be great, which I think it will be, to be honest. So yeah, So 1 gram each in these bowls will do 100 ml, 85 degrees Celsius, right? Okay. Actually, not what they recommended. They're recommending 70 degrees Celsius. But for consistency's sake, we will use the same temperature we've been using for all these tests. And I like my Japanese green tea at a little higher temperature anyway. All the way, Steven?
A little higher. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot higher. I like a Japanese green tea that can be boiled, to be honest. Not boiled in like a rolling boil, but like brewed with boiling water. That's just I really like it when a tea can do that. Just my quirk. Oh man.
So
Yeah, Andrew's saying.
this.
So this is Kirishima water. Okay. So same prefecture, Kagoshima Prefecture, but Hiroshima and this area, Yakushima Island, are so far away from each other, I wouldn't call it the same terroir. This Yakushima Island, this is a Yakushima Island Shincha, Yutaka Midori cultivar, early April harvest. It's from the same prefecture, but this Sencha is from an island far, far south of where this water is from, but still southerly. So I'm thinking, typically southern waters are a little bit more heavy, and teas from southerly areas tend to be a little heavier also. So maybe there's going to be a harmony there. So we'll see. And Andrea is saying, I was surprised, he said, how all of the Filipinos I knew here in Vietnam voted for Marcos. Yeah, it's tough. It's kind of scary still to ask around. I know my parents probably would have voted for Marcos. Yeah. And they're allowed to do that, but I have a different opinion, so yeah. That's okay. I'm open about this kind of stuff, so you can't really separate. That's one thing. The whole concept of tea should be for your politics. Technically, different kinds of tea practice, yeah, but tea meeting places have always been super political. Always people, because you sit around drinking tea for so long, people are gonna talk about stuff like this for sure. I bet if I was in Taiwan or Japan seems to be following the Philippine election quite heavily, people would ask me about it if we were familiar with each other as friends. You don't just end up talking about Zen Buddhism when you talk about tea at a table. It just doesn't happen.
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? Yeah. Right, Steven?
Yeah.
Didn't you notice that when you were there? Typically. Depending. If you're close with each other, which, I feel very close to the people who are here on live, who typically follow what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So it's one of those things. Anyway, talking about this stuff. This is Kirishima. What's the second one? Kirishima water. This is Fluffy, the prototype. We're calling it Fluffy, so it's not prototype A. Fluffy at 100%, right? Just normal dose. And then this is 0.5. Waiting. Let's see what this tea tastes like. What? Just getting to know. That tastes delicious. I think I'm just hungry now. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Here you go.
Hold on. I'm just removing this. Okay.
Get the spoon.
All right. Thank
If you
you.
didn't pour the others with the spoon in.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. I was going to. Promise. Inconsistency. It's a joke.
Ruined.
Ruined.
Start over.
The pour is different. I mean, technically, but it's close enough. I don't actually mean that. I think it's close enough. So this is Fluffy at 0.5, right? Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Johnny's saying, actually, does talking about Zen even happen while having tea? Have you ever experienced a straight-faced conversation about tea and Zen at the same time while having tea? This is probably the closest right now, which we're not even talking about Zen. Yeah, no.
When you're doing Zen stuff, do you talk about Zen stuff?
Okay, when you're talking about Zen stuff, do you talk about tea? Does that happen? Oh my gosh. And then when you're doing the Zen stuff, do you actually talk about Zen stuff is your question? You know?
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't know. I've never spent that much time in the presence of like Zen masters or anything, but like, and the ones I have, I don't speak the language well enough to converse with them, kind of thing.
Only about tea. Can talk about tea, right?
I talk about tea to them, yeah. So this is the Kirishima water.
Yes.
This water has not performed as well as I would have liked, because in theory, Kirishima, which we discussed recently in the last couple lives, Kirishima is a. I'm sorry. Let me just put you down because I'm like talking over you. Kirishima water. It's from an area that produces tea, so in theory, that water should be pretty good with the tea that's from there. This is not Kirishima tea, but it's from a similarly like much southern area of Japan. So I'm thinking maybe Kirishima water will be better with this tea because it is from like a southerly area, different kind of taste. So maybe even if it hasn't been good lately, as good, it'll find its stride here. No. No. I would say so. Not to be disrespectful to the tea, but I'll see if Steven has the same view as me. I'm not gonna tell you why. So I want to hear what your thoughts are on that. So that's a Kirishima water with the Hisoka Spring First Flush Green Tea. Okay? Which I don't know this tea that well actually, so we'll see. Maybe it's a tea. I'm not sure. It just arrived, so maybe it's having a lag. I'm gonna wait for you to give your thoughts to me.
I want to taste more of the tea.
Yeah.
In different forms.
Okay, got it. So you want to withhold?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're giving it away.
I can't just control my face. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm trying, but I just can't control my face. Okay. Let's fluffy 100%, right? Like normal dose.
Yep.
Can't control my face. I can't do it. So, thoughts on what we're tasting. Okay.
Okay.
Before we get there, I want to like talk about this stuff Andrew's saying. I have had people talk about Zen at my tea table. They don't get invited back. It's like listening to people describe their own farts. That's really funny. Well, I'm glad that you've given me the heads up so that I don't arrive at your tea table talking about Zen. I don't think I have enough to say about that anyway, so yeah. Okay, so this is our second now round of tasting our prototype waters for this water recipe we're developing with this now new to us Shinsha. It just arrived 15 minutes ago at our table. So we'll talk about those. Let me know if you guys have any questions, if you're doing okay. Aurelio, nice to see you. Minala Rope, nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Thoughts, Steven, on what we're tasting?
I like the third one.
Yes. Yes, I agree. It's unmistakable. It's delicious. That's 0.5, right?
That is, yes.
It's gorgeous.
Which is the new 1 times, and this is 2 times.
Don't confuse us. This is today for today. This is
Right.
the fluffy original, and this is fluffy 0.5.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. It's good. It just works. I love it. It's just you can't control your face kind of good, right? That's
Yeah.
good. Kirishima water, I think takes a big L here. Like gigantic L.
Okay.
Like this whole stuff about like, oh maybe it's gonna match better. What do you think about it?
The Kirishima water.
Yeah. Should I make this joke? I should make this joke.
What?
It disappears a tea like an activist in the Philippines during the Marcos regime. I'm sorry, I just had to do it. So it disappeared the tea, is what I'm trying to say. Do I get invited back to your tea
It
table?
does though. It does. I was gonna say it just tastes like water.
It tastes like, yeah, it doesn't taste like much.
It's a stretch to say that there's tea in there.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, that's how I was like, how, wow. It's not even like, because when we're doing this, we're like, oh, it's not very good. It's still pretty okay. This is bad. It's not, it's bad.
And
Like,
it's not sour or like
No.
off-putting. It's just where did the tea go?
yeah, it just doesn't taste like anything. And even if I quiet down, which I wanted to see if you'd pick up, because you're faster to pick up on that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's not like there's
That's
an
the first to start
aftertaste.
tasting too.
Yeah. It's not like there's an aftertaste waiting at the end. Not no bright note, no umami, no sweetness, no nothing. So what's happening here, I think, is that the Kirishima water, which we've been experiencing lately, is very muting. And I think, and you're asking how the two teas different, right? This tea is more delicate than the Hashiri Shinsha from Dance. This is a more kind of like soft, more kind of gentle tea. It's got a little bit more kind of like, it's more delicate, you know? And it's got more of like kind of like a vegetal rather than grassy flavor to it. And it just gets wiped out by this tea. It just gets wiped out, which is interesting because the Kirishima water isn't even that heavy. But if you ordered this from a place, you would leave a 1-star review on Yelp kind of stuff. Like you'd be like, oh, it didn't taste like anything. It truly doesn't. Sometimes I exaggerate, but this really doesn't taste like much. Sometimes I exaggerate because I tend to talk like that generally. But even talking about like, are you exaggerating because it really tastes like nothing? It tastes like tea that you put some like already brewed tea leaves in. That's how like kind of empty it is. There's a little bit of bitterness, and that's it.
It could be the fourth steep of a Japanese green tea.
It could be like the ninth steep,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of thing. Because fourth steep, especially
There
if you're
should still be
using,
some.
yeah, especially if you're using Tikiris original, it should still taste like stuff. Interesting. I wonder what it is about the Kirishima water. What is it? Note though that the Kirishima water that we got, speaking about like, yes, natural waters are great, bottled waters are great. In some ways, right? Like we don't like the bottles because you have to like rely on the plastic single use kind of thing. But this water is marketed as being it's marketed as being 38 milligrams TDS, right? Now I'm wondering if they mean just hardness, because then that would make sense for the 80 reading. But what I mean is that it's a heavy water than it looks, actually. So, yeah, it's heavy. So we gotta double check that for myself, because I'm not sure if this character that's showing up on like my Google Translate is hardness or TDS. Because if it is hardness, it makes sense. But if it's TDS overall, it's a lot heavier than what it says in the bottle. So just heavy. This is a very good drinking water though. People ask me sometimes, is drinking water the same as like performance for tea, like something that tastes good? Will it be good for tea brewing? Not always. That's why you have like Evian is very famous for a culinary water, right? Or Contrex or like Aquapana. They're very well liked for the restaurant setting because they're heavy. So when you have them with food, they taste good. But I don't like them for tea necessarily. They're a little bit too heavy. So that's probably good drinking water, but it's not good for brewing tea, in my opinion. Maybe with like an oolong, it might be okay. Or like a black tea might be okay. There. Oof. Oof. Yeah, that just kills the tea. And this is going back to this thing I keep emphasizing. If you received this shinsha and you had the wrong water, you will blame the shinsha. and not your water. Typically, right, our standard response in the tea world is to blame the tea or ourselves, right? Like, I didn't brew well enough, my palate's not good, I don't get it, there's a problem with me, I'm not understanding. Or, oh, the tea is bad, me is bad, the vendor lied, the tasting notes are BS, it's not a good season, etc. But truly, the factor in the middle that we want to make sure is taken care of is the water, because this is like night and day difference, right? So this is the guy who's leaving a 1-star review on this tea, and this is the guy leaving a 5-star review on this tea. It's not them or the vendor, it's the water. It's insane. I'm never gonna drink the tea again if I have it like that. I'd be like, what the hell? But this tea, with this water, just it captures what Shincha is supposed to be like, like that, like fresh. It's so fresh and so lively and so vibrant. It like comes to life again, back like in the water. It's so good. And it's getting a little bit bittersweet here, but it's a good kind of bittersweet. Like I'm serious, right? Like
That's what
delicious
this water did, though,
veggies.
after time.
Yeah. Because tea will naturally have bittersweetness, especially if you like bowl brew like this, but it's a good kind. It's like an alive kind. It's not dull. It's not unpleasant. It's really, really good. It becomes sweet after the bitterness dissipates. I can't believe that this is a prototype water. This tastes like a natural water to me. That's when we know that a water is getting there, is it doesn't feel engineered. Like, I shocked myself for a moment, reminding myself that we made this water. It's not from a bottle. It's not from like a stream, But it is using the same minerals as you'd find in natural water. There's nothing different about it. Steven did that. So it's easy for me to make faces. Steven's a lot harder to make faces. How's Steven? I wish you could taste this with us. This is the one thing missing, is that I wish you guys could taste these with us. That's good too. That's really good also. I think that's good. So now, thinking about the recipe development, would you rather have this be the standard, and then you can go 0.5 times to get it to here? Or would you rather have this be the standard and you have to do it 2 times to get to that one? Honestly, I think this is the correct one to like make the actual formula. Even if you have to like double it to get the other one, you're not going to use that as much, that taste. So any criticism, Steven? Oh, so beautiful. The aftertaste is so nice. I like the aftertaste of these two.
Yeah.
Anything to fix. So we're winding down. It is like 10:46 now. We're gonna be up late.
My sleeps too.
This tea is very comfortable. I like it.
Totally.
I love it. Let's see. Yeah, hi T. Thank you, T. So thank you to this is Hachi Manju, the producer in Yakushima Island. Just gorgeous. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful for this tea. It's really, really, really good. Delicious. Any edits? Thinking about the water recipe? I think this is like 1 prototype, 2 prototype. We bring tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Because now we only have like 18, 17 hours until we have to bring stuff to that group test. So to catch you up, that group test is happening tomorrow. 8 people, including me and Steven, and then 6 other people. It'll be live on Instagram with Tea and Whisk. We'll probably do some stuff beforehand just to prep. I think we have to like play a little bit with like the calcium versus magnesium thing, and then the sodium amounts can go up and down. And then what happens then if this is 0.5 fluffy, right? What if we do 0.25 fluffy? Will we get a very like crisp, kind of like juicy umami out of it? Because there is that range of water. Because right now the water we're liking, this prototype, is around 50 TDS. But some of the most famous, really famous like springs in like China are like around 30, 25, 30. Same thing in Japan. They're like 25, 30. Like Wazuka water, the natural one, I think is around 25, 30. Some of the Kyoto waters are like 10, 15. You know, really, really, really light, which you can just, if this is the original recipe, just do half dose. Okay, so we need to test this against autumn, make sure it's different enough. We need to test it against original at like that half dose, make sure it's different enough. And then we need to test different ratios of calcium and magnesium. Calcium being, this is actually quite a lot of calcium in this formula. I think it's helping though, it's helping bring out some complexity and elegance, because calcium is a very brute force mineral. Its presence or absence will change the formula a lot. It's what's responsible for allowing a water to be good at extracting tea or bad at extracting tea. Also, if a water makes your tea cloudy, it's because it has too much calcium. It's very reactive. Calcium is high by ratio in these. It's low by amount, but we have a lot of calcium versus magnesium. We can switch that to see if we can pull a little bit more smoothness out, right? Magnesium being similar to calcium, but not nearly as like really like in like harsh or effective. And then we will adjust the amounts of sodium versus potassium. Sodium being like, we know sodium. Out of these minerals, our palates are most familiar with sodium. It's a flavor enhancer that after a certain point becomes too salty. So
Umami is sodium.
umami has a monosodium glutamate, right? So there's a sodium component to it. It's not the same thing as sodium, but it's related, right? When you add salt to a dish, more of that savory flavor comes out, right? So having sodium is good, but we have quite a bit of sodium here and almost no potassium. The original, the Hida water that we liked a lot had a tiny bit of potassium. We can kind of bump it up to see if we can keep how like smooth and fluffy this taste is, while maybe boosting a tiny bit of like complexity and not rounding it out too much. So those three things. Test it against Securius, the current recipes. Play with calcium magnesium ratios, and then play with sodium potassium ratios.
And we're talking about like
Tiny adjustment
3
here
places behind the decimal point, like
for grams.
Yeah.
Yeah. But very significant when you actually get the measurements, right? It's actually a lot of work to do, for sure. But I want to have quite a bit of them tomorrow, because that's gonna be the only day we test for those folks.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions? This has been good. I'm happy that the Sinsha arrived. I hope DHL person goes home soon. It's like really late. I feel bad for them. Like I want my tea to arrive, but not at the cost of someone being like, held up late at work.
Hopefully
So
we were the last box in his truck.
I hope so. So yeah, we'll wrap up here. I need to write this blog post up. I've lost like a blog post along the way, so I'm so tired. I'm trying really hard to make sure that I keep up on top of this like development process, because I think in the future we'll really like coming back to look at it. I'm just showing you everything that goes on, like the ups and downs, the questions that we have. Because yes, we love our product and like it does support us if you do use it. But for someone who wants to make it at home or wants to understand how it's developed and is a little scared about the concept of like a made water, can see just how inspired by nature it is. Like it is very much based on the original waters that nature has made, and very tea focused. No decisions we make are made for like not the tea. It's very tea focused. So yeah, any questions? Wrapping up. Michael, live tea at 11 p.m. Are you crazy? Yo, Michael, I wish you were here. The Hachimanju Yakushima, the Hisoka one. So nice. I like it. And I also got their really, really early one, the early spring first flush, which is Asatsuyu. Half Asatsuyu. I love Asatsuyu. It's one of my favorite cultivars. Love Asatsuyu. This one here is Yutaka Midori, which I honestly, it's okay. I like it enough, right? But Asatsuyu, man, it's so delicious. Yeah. So we're gonna try these out. And then Atatsuyu is great. I'd like to spend more time with Kaname Midori. There's this Marishi that I want to get to know better. Very expensive Shinjamen. It comes in a matcha tin. It's expensive when it comes in a matcha tin,
Limited
right?
quantity.
Limited quantity. Re-steeps 4 times. That's pretty good. So yeah. I think we're good. Let me know if you have any questions. Recording folks, let me know if you have any questions. I'm still like watching the comments for YouTube also. So thank you for joining us. It's been a lot easier to go through like these motions, having some like outside input. I will see you tomorrow either here for like some last minute shit, probably. Because we just do that. I've always been the 11:59 like submission at my college. Like college days, 11:59. But it's good. My work's good. And then we will see each other with Leo at Tea and Whisk. Please pray for me. Leo does not BS anyone. I've seen him be like, what is that? I'm like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna cry. I'll be fine. I'm so used to it. But he's very blunt. And what's cool about tomorrow is that we'll be able to put these out, which means even like, wow, it's so good. Yeah, high fives. But it's our limited perception. Me and Steven have very similar palettes, more or less. You like different things than I do, but I think we're more similar than different. If only I had all you guys in the room, we could like test this out, but some more diverse opinions tomorrow. And multiple options. So, yeah. Oh, Joni has Hachimanju too! Which ones did you get? We should do a tasting. See, this is the cool thing. We can taste it with the original. Which, honestly, original is still good. It's not bad. It's, like, really good. We're just being picky, because we're picky, Like, remember, me and Steven are the people who use Tahira's water to make ramen, like instant ramen. We will insist on using instant, like, not tap water for instant ramen.
You need the right pH for the noodles
You need the right pH for the noodles to be bouncy. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. Oh, Akila, nice to see you. We're about to sign off. Gabby, you too. So nice to see you. But it's been good. I feel good. How many days until Saturday? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 more days until this recipe drops. Should be good. Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. It's been wonderful. Any comments, other discussions, let me know. And on Instagram, I will catch up with everyone more after I get caught up with my blog posts. I've just been so behind after I lost that one day. And after tomorrow, because after tomorrow, we will be done with the Leo live stream and we'll have some more time to kind of like really dial in. I think we're ahead. Tonight is ahead. Like we
Maybe
made a
we
big
can
jump.
Come back and just share the results
What do you mean?
of the live stream or the tasting. I mean,
Oh, we will be live with Leo when it happens. We're going like live at the same time.
for the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's why I'm
I thought
scared.
it'd be like 10-minute, 15-minute, just like, hey, we're here doing the thing.
Well, I'm sure that's gonna be shorter because we tend to like stay a long time, but we will talk about it. Yeah, Hisoka is the one we have too, Joni. So, okay, let's go to sleep. It's like 10:56 here. So, thank you for joining us, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Fingers crossed for Team Curious versus Tea and Whisk. Not that Leo's against us, but he's so picky. Okay, good night. Thank you. Woohoo! Team. Woo!